Okay, and we're back. Finally managed to get these guys dealt with. Took a number of tries, but basically what I just do is I just kind of stand at the edge here and lure them, and the only way for them to get up to actually attack me, both gun wielders and machete wielders alike, they'd have to come up this slope and then come across this bridge, and then I just take them out as they came after me. So it really wasn't that bad, but I'm not sure if it wasn't that bad because that's what I was supposed to be doing. I mean, it is kind of set up so I can fairly easily corral them that way, but it felt like I was kind of exploiting the artificial intelligence of these guys, really, because it's just stupid the way that they just run after me into my fire without even thinking about the fact that there was like a line of bodies right there. Of course, they can, as always, the tides can turn in a second, so I could die any second here or something if I missed one of them, but I think I've got them all, at least for this area here. As far as I can tell, I do, which is great. I just wish I had a quick save of some kind.
That's Henry's wheelchair.
Oh, okay. That music almost sounds like Cara Mia from Portal 2. Yeah. Anyway. We haven't done this in a long time. Almost makes it kind of a pointless mechanic when it's barely used, but... Oh, there she is. That was
Meg,
not so bad.
We've been looking everywhere for you. I'm so glad you're okay.
You came for me?
Of course, sweetie. I wouldn't leave you here. Now, come on. Let's go find your mother.
She looks pretty happy. Yet her voice sounds...
It's flooding.
Like a tsunami or something? I suppose there's going to be more guys now. They're going to suddenly spawn again just to give me more guys to fight. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, she sounded like all scared there and sad, but
Are you ready to find your mother and leave this place?
I sure am.
Yeah.
Then hang on tight, and I'll take you to the boat.
What the hell? Why does she sound so...
Good to me.
Why does she sound so happy? She's kind of annoying. She's too young to be charming like Clementine. She's just kind of annoying. Well, it's fine with me. This is where all the bodies were. Yeah, what the hell were you doing?
Mommy!
Okay, what's going to happen? She's probably got someone with a gun to her head, and when I go up there to bring Mate back, she's going to reveal that she's got bad guys up there, and I'm going to have to fight them. Because there's no way that this bunch here was the last one. They're going to have at least one more thing to throw at me.
You're a miracle, you know that?
That's what she said.
When nothing else in this world works like it's supposed to. You, my friend, are a miracle.
Damn right, don't forget it.
I don't know what to say.
Give me my gun back.
Come on, we should go. The boat's coming.
Right.
Yeah, come on, what's the twist? What's the catch? It's not that simple. Is that the boat?
destination is a settlement called Port Sienna.
Port Sienna. How far is that?
They said we'll be there in 2 days, so I guess it's not close. But we heard several messages mentioning it before. They have supplies there, and the air is much cleaner than here.
That's what May needs.
Yeah.
You must
What?
be Linda. While we were waiting for you, the boat nearly got hijacked by some guys with guns. Let's go. We'd all like to leave this place as far behind as possible.
What's the catch? Something happened. That's it? So I guess we're like, to hell with our family. Who gives a shit about them? Glad we got these random strangers all settled.
Are you coming?
No, May. I'm not.
But why not?
I just can't. Not until I've found Julie and Mary.
Duh.
I left them once before. I can't do it again. Besides, Henry's still out there, and I'll bet he needs my help.
Then take this to your daughter. She might eat it.
Thank you, May. I'll make sure she knows it was from you.
Thank you for everything you did. Take care. You'll find them.
Apparently not, because the game's over.
It's gonna be okay. If you're still here, I'll find you. I promise. I'm gonna find a way to make it up to you.
So I'm guessing it must be Julie. Yep. It's no surprise. I knew it. Okay. Well, that was the game, I guess. That's kind of lame. I mean, really? I mean, I knew from the very beginning, from the very start of the game, as soon as the intro cinematic was running, I was like, ah, he's dead because you're watching back his thing. And I could see that it was some woman watching his videos. So obviously he's dead and they're watching it back after the fact. And then the ending revelation is like, oh, he's died and they're watching it. I knew that from the very first couple minutes of the game. So, man, that was something. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Some neat gameplay ideas, some neat mechanics, but the story was pretty crap. I'm running around helping people I don't give a shit about. A bunch of people. And I mean, I don't give a damn about May. She's annoying as hell. And I don't care about her mother. And I don't care about Henry. I don't know anything about them. If I was actually doing something for my own guy's wife and daughter, it would, you know, make sense. It would at least have a point. Instead, I'm just like, oh, here's some random people. I guess I'll spend the entirety of my story helping out them. Oh, what's that? I have a personal quest to find the people who actually matter to me. Oh, well, screw that. That can just sit on the sidelines for a while. I've got to help these random strangers I just met. Yay! I don't know. I didn't care about them, and the story just had me going from one place to another, going back and forth through the mists, and that was kind of annoying. And I don't know. You never find out what the event was. You never find out what the state of the rest of the world is. All we know is this city in particular. Presumably the rest of the world is in shambles too. We don't know why. We don't know how bad it is and whether or not it's a permanent sort of deal or if things are going to come back to normal. You know, we don't know the state of anything, really. We don't know what happened to his family, except for obviously his wife presumably survived, unless that was his daughter, but this would have to be years and years and years after the fact if that was his daughter. I'm not sure which it was, so I assume it's his wife, though. But it could be his daughter, and this could be like 15 years after or something. I don't know, I'd say about 15 years after the events that actually took place in the game. But I don't know why that would necessarily be the case. I don't know. We don't really know who that was exactly. Just one of the two. But anyway, so, and then there were like certain mechanics, like the whole climbing thing with the stamina was a neat idea. The being able to kind of bluff enemies sort of was a neat idea. I enjoy the grappling hooks, you know, and the fog in general, the way that the whole city had like a mist to it was a neat idea, but I don't feel like those ideas were really utilized in any really good way. I quickly got really, really sick of all the platforming because it's just tedious. It's just a matter of, oh, can I get to the next ledge and rest for a while? Okay, now can I get to the next ledge and rest for a while? Okay, where do I go now? I'm not sure if I can find the place. I'm kind of struggling to find the place. Oh, there it is. I have to get to another ledge and rest a while. And rinse and repeat. There's not much to it, not much interest. The most fun part was swinging, and that barely happened, unfortunately. The whole thing with the ammo being scarce, you know, made sense, I guess, but it didn't have a lot of a point to it, because basically, in the end, you had basically just enough ammo to deal with everyone. You weren't really that scarce on ammo. I mean, you had basically just enough bullets to kill everyone you need to kill. And you didn't have much choice as to whether or not to kill people. I mean, it was implied to me when I saw the trailers for the game and stuff like that. It seemed as though the idea was that you'd be able to kill some people, not kill some people, you know, choose how to deal with them. Maybe you'd be able to fake them out and get them to leave you alone if they were dangerous, or maybe you'd encounter some people who are good people, but you know, you may have to fight them, or you may have to just try your best to not fight them because they're just okay people. It just suggested a lot more depth to it than there really was. In the end, it was just a matter of, oh, if they're okay people, they'll just let you pass as long as you don't piss them off too much. And if they're not okay people and you have really no choice but to kick their ass, to kill them. And that's where my struggle came in, because I kept expecting them to surrender like it was suggested at the beginning of the game. It was like, well, tell them to back off, tell them to surrender, and then they just back down for a little bit, and on very, very, very rare occasions, though I don't know what the connecting factor is, on very rare occasions, they would surrender, but almost never. Almost never. And that sucks. I wish that they'd surrender more. I wish more games had it where you could disarm enemies and get them to surrender. Not like become allies necessarily, but just become a non-threat, rather than having to kill absolutely everyone just because you have no choice. And I was concerned that the whole executing thing would have like a bad moral ending, but apparently it doesn't, which is fine with me because everyone you meet were complete assholes. So, you know, no reason not to kill them, really. No reason to feel anything about pretty much anyone in this whole game. There was little to no emotional connection, which is really unfortunate, because as I said, the gameplay started to wear a little bit thin after the 5th time you've done it. It's just kind of the same deal over and over again, and I really didn't... At the very last part, after I tried it a number of times, I did finally come to kind of have a little bit of enjoyment with the going around and sniping people out with arrows. But that's just because I was tricking them, basically. I was tricking the really limited, stupid AI to just walk into a death trap, and they were just too dumb to organize or realize any of that kind of stuff. So they just waltzed right into it, and I just sniped them out, and that was it. It was only really enjoyable just because it's kind of satisfying using a bow, and it was kind of cool to feel like you killed a bunch of guys, but that was just kind of a short-lived thing. Usually in the game you get people in groups of like 4 or 5, enough to overwhelm you, because you have to get them in a certain order, but they all kind of gang rape you, and it's just really tough unless you're frantically shooting your firearm all over the place, hoping that they'll back down or something, and usually it didn't really work that well. You saw how much damage I took and how much that sucked, so whatever. It is kind of cool you could go around and optionally help additional survivors, and you know, I liked that aspect, that almost like a hidden secret sort of thing. That was kind of cool, though again, moving through the mists kind of got tiresome after a while, though I liked the idea of it. Also, I really did like the idea of the retries, just because it made me really question what I was doing. You know, like, is this worth the risk? Because I could die and have to reload back to the previous save point. So I really want to make sure that each of my choices is the best choice possible. And I liked that because it encouraged me to, through the mechanics, it made me, the player, feel the mortality of the character. And that's great. But it wasn't used to very poignant effect in the game. It just didn't really matter, and there weren't really any moral choices or any real big deals. I'm not saying that there should have been a lot of like good, bad things, but there should have maybe been some ambiguous choices where you're not sure exactly what is the right choice, and it's not convenient to just reload and try again. So maybe you feel like you really are risking something to protect other people, as was sometimes the case. Sometimes I did feel like I was truly risking myself to save others, to save strangers, and I'm like, oh, should I do it? I want to help them because I get more retries, but on the other hand, it's risky because I could lose retries by trying to do it, and I think that there's a good idea in there. It just wasn't realized in this game, I don't feel. I feel like this game had a lot of good ideas that just didn't quite live up to their potential, which is unfortunate. Now, hopefully the guys who developed this game will go on to create games in the future that borrow some ideas from this game. Some of the things like the retry system being like a mini reload. So checkpoints only have a certain number of retries, and it forces the player to feel more mortal, a little more at risk, without necessarily making the game super duper hard. Because I mean, if it was like a matter of there being no saves whatsoever, and if you made a wrong choice you have to start the whole game over, then that'd be a bit excessive. I mean, that works for something like Binding of Isaac, just because each playthrough is unique and it's, you never know what you'll get and that kind of thing. But for something like this, which is a little more involved and it's not randomized and stuff, it's good that the replay is to a minimum, but it still has that amount of tension. No, that was good. And hopefully they'll take the whole threatening people thing, you know, warding off enemies, to another level. I think that there's another game coming out somewhat soonish. I think it's called like The Others or something, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. And that, I think, is what I was confusing with this game when I said this was a zombie game, a zombie apocalypse game. My mistake. I must have been thinking of the other one, which is also about a guy and a kid, or actually I think it's like a guy and a young teen or a mid-teen or something. And the two of them are fighting off enemies, humans rather, in a zombie apocalypse setting. So there's risk of the zombies, but also the people are a pretty big risk too, and you don't know if the people will be good or bad. So I'm anxious. I'm not sure if that's coming out on PC or not. If it is, I'm anxious to see how that is used in another context as compared to this game, which I feel kind of squandered the opportunity of that strong idea. But nevertheless, overall, I'd say the game was mediocre. Neat aesthetic, neat gameplay ideas, somewhat poor execution, I'd say. So I wouldn't recommend buying this game unless it was really, really cheap, because there's really not much else to see beyond kind of what I've done. And, you know, obviously I didn't do everything. I only got 95%, so there's some things out there that I didn't see, you know, some people I didn't save and stuff. So if you really feel compelled to, you know, go for it. But I really wouldn't recommend this game, aside from just kind of the curiosity of looking at how they did the different mechanics. So I hope that you enjoyed this playthrough overall. Of course, it was a blind playthrough, so keep in mind that I know I didn't do that great in a lot of places, and I had to reload and retry things, and that's just how it goes. But overall, I hope that you had a good time, and overall, I'm glad that it happened. I can't say I had a great time doing it, but I mean, it was a neat experience, and I'm glad I did it. So, thanks for watching, and I hope that you keep enjoying more of my Let's Plays. So, see you later. Bye-bye.